All right, we are bringing you 4 tight ends today.
4.
2 each that we believe are undervalued. So maybe if you're playing in a tight end premium league, even if you're non-tight end premium, these are guys that we believe that you should try and go and grab right now because their value is at a good point to buy, okay? I'm going to give you my first tight end. That is David Njoku. And
finally,
let's talk about how he really became a buy low. He was a first round draft selection in 2017. It's been up and down quarterback play, let's be honest. Lack of production, and his value has dropped due to the lack of production. We all saw the talent. We all believed that he was a first round grade back in 2017, but it's truly been up and down, not just with David Njoku, but with this entire organization. So let me explain why I'm buying low. Number one, let's look at his draft capital and his profile as a player. Like I said, first round pick, first round tight ends normally get a lot of leeway to try and like sprout and become this value. That's not a surprise to me that now Austin Hooper is gone and looks like they're giving the reins over to David Njoku. And let's not forget how the NFL analysts were comparing David Njoku. They were saying this is the next Jeremy Shockey. This is the next Greg Olsen, Jimmy Graham, Kellen Winslow. As an athlete, I still see those comparisons. I still think that those comparisons can be true. And I would like to argue that I don't think Njoku's ever really been given a fair shot. I don't think he's ever been given a true opportunity to sprout as a talent. Secondly, let's look at his previous situations and his future opportunities, okay? Let's look at his starting quarterbacks since 2017. Let's look at this offense, okay? Since 2017, we'll start there. Deshaun Kaiser was the starter. 22 interceptions, completed 53% of his passes. Njoku was a tight end 24. In 2018, this was rookie Baker Mayfield. Oh my God, this kid looks like a future superstar. He played 13 games, 27 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, completed almost 64% of his passes. David Njoku that year was a tight end 9. Tight end 9, and he only put up 4 touchdowns. To me, I'll keep going, but this 2018 year was really the only year that was truly set up for David Njoku to succeed. Next year, Baker Mayfield struggles, okay? 21 interceptions, under 60% of his passes completed, and then David Njoku only played 4 games. In 2020, Austin Hooper comes to this team, signs a mega deal to come to Cleveland. When they already had David Njoku. It never made sense.
It never made sense, that move. No.
It massively hurt David Njoku's value. And how would it not? I mean, you're paying Austin Hooper all this money. Of course, you're going to try and target him within the offense. They both canceled each other out.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, Njoku only saw 29 targets that entire year in 2020. And then last year, Baker Mayfield's still the guy. 17 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Austin Hooper still there. And Njoku, you could see spurts from him. Finishes a tight end 22. Excuse me. Now, that was a past. Enter the future. Deshaun Watson. Career stats. Almost 68% of his passes have been completed in his career consistently, year by year. 104 touchdowns and 36 interceptions.
Sheesh.
This is a massive difference maker for every offensive weapon there in Cleveland. I know that Njoku's only got 1 year on the contract, but both sides have been very open to say that they're working on a long-term extension. And by the way, David Njoku, I just read off all these years. You would think, yeah, feels like a 30-year-old guy. He's 25. He's 25, and he'll be 26 here in the next couple months. This is a young tight end. And I have talked about it beforehand as to why I'm so high on Pitts.
Right.
But I mentioned how many years it took before all these elite tight ends got to their first 1,000-yard year. Travis Kelce, he was 27. I believe Zach Ertz was 26. You look at all these elite tight ends, it took them a long time to actually develop and have the right opportunities. Now, I know the conversation around Njoku has typically been, well, Watson's not really ever used his tight ends. So let's look at that, okay? Let's look at Watson's tight ends as a starter. In 2017, it was Ryan Griffin, who was a 6th-round pick. Okay, you gonna center your offense around a 6th-round pick? No. In 2018, it was Ryan Griffin and rookie Jordan Thomas. So they brought in a rookie, right? Yeah. They brought in a rookie tight end. Bang. But he was a 6th-round pick. Okay. In 2019, Jordan Akins, who was a 3rd rounder, and Darren Fells, 30-year-old journeyman. In 2020, it was Darren Fells and an undrafted free agent in Pharaoh Brown. Keeping in mind that D-Hop was on most of those teams. Is it fair to say that Deshaun Watson has never played with a tight end like David Njoku before? I would argue that yes, it is fair to say. This is the best tight end that Deshaun Watson has ever played with. And they have a limited amount of draft capital. Will they bring in a pass catcher? Maybe. But even if they bring in a Jarvis Landry through free agency, a Sky Moore, a Jahan Dotson, whoever it might be to be that secondary piece, there's still more than enough volume to go around for David Njoku. So for me, I think he's a fantastic buy low. According to crowdsourcing, he's ranked anywhere from tight end 17 to 22, which in my eyes is too low. I think he should be valued higher than that at this point. And an early 2022 third, maybe a late second should get the job done. So if you have the 208, let me ask you, what tight end this year's draft would you project to have a better situation than Trey McBride?
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, like than David Njoku, maybe Trey McBride. But in my eyes, I don't think Trey McBride's going to fall to the 208 if he falls into a good scenario. Like if Trey McBride does land in Green Bay, there's no way he's falling to the 208. That's just unrealistic. So for me, according to his current value, you can get him at a discount. And in startups, he's going so late. I love this value for David Njoku. I'm more than comfortable to take a shot on him with what it would cost to get him and draft him.
Yeah, I love David Njoku. I think he's gonna skyrocket. If you can get him, I truly think he's gonna skyrocket. I think it's gonna be hard to get a guy like him.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
It's gonna be tough. My first buy low tight end is Zach Ertz, and this is great if you are in a win now scenario. I'm giving you a win now and then a futuristic. So stay tuned for later for my second tight end. But this is my win now guy. Okay. I'm giving you Zach Ertz. There's no doubt. Obviously, he got traded to the Arizona Cardinals, got paired up with K1 Kyler Murray, the cockroach himself, I like to call him, signs a 2-year contract extension with the Cardinals, and he produced. He was a guy. He was a great guy, and I know there's probably some question marks because DeAndre Hopkins was injured and everything, but I still believe he is going to come in. Be a top. I love it. A top finish. He finished last year finished tight end 5, third amongst targets amongst tight ends. Sorry, third in targets amongst tight ends. 6 in the red zone targets. There's no doubt about it. They're going to draft a wide receiver, but it takes time for Kyler Murray and this young guy to come in. They have Rondale Moore, D-Hop. D-Hop's getting older. He's still going to get the workload, but Zach Ertz is going to be his safety blanket in the middle of that field. He is going to be his guy. I mean, he's going to have 2 safety blankets, D-Hop and Zach Ertz. That's my opinion. So why not get a guy that's not going to cost much, that's not going to hurt your team? He's always going to produce. Maybe it was his ceiling to finish top 5 with Kyler Murray. A top 8.
Same time, that was only half the year. So even if D-Hop is healthy, you're in a better offense and you're not splitting time with Dallas Goedert. It's just like there's going to be a top 12 finish.
Exactly.
Sure.
There is going to be a top 12 finish, and the price is fantastic. You can right now, according to crowdsourcing, you can get him for a late second round. And like what just Zach said earlier about David Njoku, there's no other tight end that's going to be coming in. So why not? By the time and the value really falls off in the middle of the second round in the 2022 draft. So why not sell maybe the 211, the 212, the 210, and get Zach Ertz for the next 2-3 years if you're a win now team, and just take the shot, solidify that tight end position. I think it's fantastic, and he's going really late in startups right now. I think this is going to be another guy that's going to be hard to get later on once everyone starts to realize and starts to click. But I do believe it's a little bit hindered because of D-Hop, so they're scared of Zach Ertz. But get him on the low right now, in my opinion. I think this is fantastic.
Yeah. And I would even argue that it is quite rare for a rookie tight end to come in and produce straight away. This is typically how you should probably address the tight end position. Maybe I think drafting rookies and rookie drafts might be a mistake because typically it takes, and even in guys that we like Cole Kmet, we love Cole Kmet, but if you spent like a mid-second round pick, has it been worth it so far? No. But like you could probably draft him now for the same value. Do you know what I mean? Or you could probably trade him now for the same value.
Exactly.
So I like, this makes a lot of sense if you're a win now team. And David, I know I'm going back to even David Njoku, he just feels like the prime candidate to break out here soon.
Exactly.
So I feel like this is how you address the tight end position like we're talking about. All right. I got my futuristic guy. I guess both of mine are, but it's Brevin Jordan. Surprise, surprise. I'm advocating for Brevin Jordan. I feel like it's always like I feel like I'm always talking about him in tight end videos, but I have to because
love relationship.
He's still easily tradable. So value's never really been high. No one's really ever, ranked him higher than tight end 20, and he's much lower in most crowdsourcing rankings.
Yep.
I loved him coming out of Miami, and I have a lot of stock of him on my taxi squads. Let's look at what he did with his opportunities. Firstly, guys, he had 28 targets all year, and most of the year he was inactive. For what reasons? We don't truly know. Maybe there was an injury that he was dealing with. We didn't get a lot of insight as to why he was inactive, but there was also a couple tight ends that were already in that rotation, veteran guys. Maybe he was learning from them.
I think that was
he only had 28 targets the entire season, but he still put up 3 touchdowns. That's more than Kyle Pitts, and he had over 100 targets. And I love me some Kyle Pitts. But he scored a touchdown on 9% of his targets. If you look at the elite guys this year, Travis Kelce, a touchdown on 6.7% of his targets. Mark Andrews, under 6% of his targets. So you can see how easily he could be used in the red zone. He is this big athlete that I think could be used all over the field, and more opportunities are probably on the way. Last year, Jordan Akins was their tight end 1. However, he is a free agent, and I don't expect him to be back, but I don't know if you can double check that for me. Jordan Akins, if he's still unsigned, I don't expect him to be re-signed. I mean, who wants to really re-sign in Houston? It doesn't make a lot of sense for most people's career paths.
Yeah.
As we all know, it does take time for tight ends to learn the position, and the Texans are going into 2021 saying, Davis Mills, here are the keys. And there's been a couple weeks where Brevin has been a top 12 tight end with Davis Mills, so the connection's there. And by the way, this offense will get better this year. They already have 2 picks in the first 13, 3 in the first 37. We've talked about specific pieces that could enter this offense to make it more efficient, to give Davis Mills more opportunity to succeed, whether offensive line, receiver, running back, whatever the case may be. They're going to improve this offense. Did you double check on Akins for me?
Yeah, I was just waiting. He's an unrestricted free agent currently right now.
So still unsigned.
Exactly.
I don't expect him to come back. It probably doesn't make sense from both sides. And opportunity will probably be there this year. This is another one of those guys. Like last year, no one was really talking about Dawson Knox. I really think we could see a Dawson Knox type of year for Brevin Jordan this season. It might not be the season. Maybe he needs more time, and I could be wrong. But at the same time, the value that it's going to take to get him is like throwaway picks at that point. And by the way, he's only 21 years old. Might not be a top 10 tight end this year, but what if he's top 15 and we start to see the upside? Next year, it's going to be much harder to trade for him. So right now, a 3rd-round pick should absolutely get the job done. And I almost view him as a really good player to like throw into a deal. I've been doing a lot of trading this offseason, and if someone has Brevin Jordan on their team, I'm like, hey man, I'll counter. Like if you add Brevin, let's get the job done. You know what I mean? Like it's like hey, let's get the job. It's like him and Noah Gray. I was almost gonna bring Noah Gray on this as well. Like the tight ends, I'm like, hey, let's just throw in this guy. Let's just see what happens. And they're pretty easily traded for. So yeah, I do like Brevin. I want him on most of my teams.
Yeah, I love Brevin. I hope that Davis Mills can project him to the next level, and it's going to be exciting. My futuristic tight end now is Cole Kmet.
Love it.
And I absolutely love this guy. I've talked about him kind of like Zach's been talking about Brevin Jordan, only 23 years old. I mean, the draft capital, they drafted him in the 2nd round, early second round in 2020. So I believe in this team as well. Okay, I know everyone has all this bad negativity and thought process about the Bears because of Matt Nagy and everything. Let's remember they cleaned house. Head office is gone. They got fresh legs, fresh faces, fresh mindsets here at the Chicago Bears. And their offensive coordinator, Luke Getsky, I don't know, sorry if I'm butchering that, but he was
just like Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne Getsky. He was the the quarterback coach and offensive coordinator the quarterback coach for Aaron Rodgers for the past 2 years. So I think awesome. This is great. This is great because he's going to instill those things into Justin Fields, and he's going to instill and put in a good offense and get this offense firing on all cylinders, especially Cole Kmet. Let's remember Jimmy Graham is also done. I mean, R.I.P.
By the way, just on that quarterback coach, one perspective that I just thought of is he's seeing greatness in Aaron Rodgers, and he's also seeing a quarterback that maybe is struggling to prove himself in Jordan Love.
Yeah.
So he's seen both sides of that coin as well. That's just a perspective I wanted to bring.
I know there's a lot of people that are half and half of Justin Fields. I think we can say here on this channel that we are both believers of Justin Fields. I know other people don't really love him, but I believe in Justin Fields and what he can do, and it's fantastic. Cole Kmet in 2020, his stats didn't jump off the board, but averages 7.1 points per game, 6.5 targets per game. That can definitely jump up a target or two, even, averaging maybe 10 points with, 7.5 targets, eight targets, just depending on how the draft is going to go. Because I do believe this is going to be a team that gets a wide receiver, which is okay. I think that also helps Cole Kmet. But let's remember, Cole Kmet was on the field for 84% of the team's offense this past year. I think that continues, and I think he's going to be a lead guy. He's going to be the safety blanket for Justin Fields.
Yeah.
The stats doesn't jump out for Cole Kmet, but I have
Jimmy Graham is huge.
Yeah, and he's gone. So I have him as my tight end 12, and the value they can get for Cole Kmet right now, like we were saying about a Brevin Jordan, David Njoku, and Zach Ertz, mid to late second right now in the 2022. Why not, if you have the 207 and below, I'm willing to take a shot on Cole Kmet. Any of these guys, really, any of these guys, throw in that second round pick with any one of these. I think you're winning, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I like the Cole Kmet pick. I was really high on him last year, and I think I've just not researched enough about him. And I still like him. I think this is a good. It was
very deflating because every time he was like, "Is that Cole?" Like you're watching, is that Cole? It's like, oh shit, it's Jimmy.
And to be honest, like as much as we want them to take a wide receiver, they have a lot of other needs, and they don't have a first. So it's like either way, the receiver could help the offense.
It'll probably be a late round receiver, like a third or fourth round guy that maybe has to come in and really, really prove himself. It's going to take a while. So
I think Kmet will be a really important piece to this team. So I like it. All right, those are our undervalued tight ends, guys that you can buy low on. Comment down below if you like them, if you dislike them. Think we're idiots? You can tell us. It's all good.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.